Alright, so a quick recap of what happened in part 1 of the Ikit Stormfiend campaign. At first, things started off pretty simple. We figured out where we were, gained a lay of the land, since rebalance of the Skaven mod added quite a bit of new territory that we had to handle. So at the start, we had an Undercity and 2 settlements instead of just having Skavenblade as Ikit, as well as the Stormfiend mod, adding a bunch of new features into the Forbidden Workshop. So we had to check out all of the new Undercity, we had to check out our new settlement, we had to build new stuff in the settlement and said Undercity, had to build up a bunch of stuff in Skavenblight. Well, actually we had to, but we didn't bother to, because we were going to abandon Skavenblight later, so there wasn't really no point in wasting our money or time on Skavenblight. We just left it sitting in the background. But as for the Forbidden Workshop, we of course picked up the upgrade for the Jezzails, because we're going to use Jezzails even though we're going to use Stormfiends for the rest of our armies. Or at least that's the plan. And checked out all of the modifications for said Stormfiends, because there's a bunch of them. And of course we're going to use the rattling cannons, and those explosive ammunition are going to be just so powerful. I can't wait to get my hands on them. I've tried them out once at the very end of the stream, and that was it. Next stream will definitely contain a bunch of them, that's for sure. Can't wait to test out the wind launchers. That's going to be a lot of damage. Just watching those things obliterate a settlement is going to be spectacular. I can't wait to get my hands on it. So we checked out the Forbidden Workshop and then proceeded to assault our new enemy that the mod has added. You start at war with Middenland, with the Skaven rebalance as Ikit Claw. So we went and took out their one army that was harassing our territory, and it was absolutely no problem. We completely overwhelmed them. They just didn't stand a chance. We were overwhelming as could be. Of course, sacrificed them for food, because we needed food. Need a lot of food, because our food is rather low. Well, it's not rather low. It starts out as standard Skaven, right in the middle. But more food means more morale means more victory, obviously, as Skaven. So, afterwards we proceeded to go down with Ikit and blow up Tabaro. And that's going to be a repeating feat for the rest of this entire thing. Won it in a properly Skaven fashion. Shoot the life out of them, bombard them with lightning, and charge in with machinery. They really didn't stand a chance, as they never do. With the destruction of Tabaro, we proceed to sack it, and get fuel, get food, and back off, and recruit some more units with Ikit. Because, of course, we need a bunch of units, because they're going to be coming back with more armies later. All we have right now are clan rats, because we aren't upgrading it, but that's fine. We then proceed to go back to Tabaro pretty much every turn as Ikit, and blow it up for some fuel, food, and otherwise. We then, with our new Warlock Master, head all the way up north and blow up Weismund. It was actually a rather easy auto-resolve with no worries whatsoever, despite most of our army being Skaven slaves. We blow them up, upgrade the settlement to tier 3, and proceed to recruit a bunch of warp fire throwers. We then head right on next door and blow that up as well. Once Midden Stag is taken out, we upgrade that to tier 3, recruit some more warp fire throwers, and yeah, build up the buildings in Midden Stag. Ikit Claw does the same thing he's going to do for pretty much the entirety of part 1 and blows up Tabaro. And then we head all the way up to Middenheim. And up there's a few armies, but no matter at this point. We have so many warp fire throwers so early that we just blow up all of their armies in an auto-resolve. Sell them off for food. Sell them off for money, that's right. Oh no, replenish. Replenish, not food. My mistake. Then we just take Middenheim. Upgrade it straight to tier 5 because we had 120 food. And yeah. After that, it's just clear sailing as Ikit proceeds to farm up a bunch of food by ambushing an enemy army. Auto-resolved it just to save time, but really probably should have fought it a bit. But I didn't want to fight all those archers, because fighting all those archers would have just been a pain in the hide. Could have won, didn't see any reason to when auto-resolve so heavily focused on me. Sacrificed them for food, went down to Tabaro, and had to manually fight this one because it was completely out of our side. And we won it in proper Skaven fashion with overwhelming technocracy. Blew them up with a bomb, zapped them with lightning all the way back to base, and then proceeded to Gatling gun and snipe them down. Their only ranged weapon left when they finally reached us was the horses, because I wasted all their ammunition. But the horses were gunned down immediately by rattling guns. Rattling guns are just such a useful unit, as everybody knows. So after that heroic victory, we proceed to continue sacking Tabaro, because we don't want it yet. And then, in the next few turns, we destroy Skavenblight entirely, and then blow up Tabaro for some more food next turn, and go and take it back up to tier 5. Once it's in tier 5, we start building the tractor beam, because we need to get our workshop upgraded. We also decrease the cost of all of our construction, because God knows we have to. We have very limited money and a lot of big upgrades. We then proceed to wage more war, because we needed more money, and we needed another sack party for another Warlock Master. So we declare war on Hawkland, because none of the allies, they don't have any allies at the moment, and we aren't too worried about anybody declaring war because they're so powerful. So then we head down and sack Hergig, if that's how you even pronounce that city, and occupy it all the way up to tier 5. Because we have 120 food again, so why not take it to tier 5? Give ourselves a lot more power and a lot more capability, as well as a lot more money in the long run. So, occupy it up to tier 5, recruit some more, and then head up to the Brass Keep. We ambush one of their armies, take it out with an auto-resolve because it's just a single lord, and then have to wait a turn to attack the Brass Keep itself due to just slightest bit of out of range. We then proceed to sack the Brass Keep for about 10 turns, probably. And then we build a bunch of tier 5 buildings in Middenheim and Skavenblight in the meantime. And then after about those 10 turns, we finally take the Brass Keep and promote up to tier 3. We then recruit a new lord who's knowledgeable, so that we can get some more Winds of Magic, and just use him to recruit a bunch of Stormfiends, while our Warlock Master makes his way back. And oh boy, these Stormfiends have me excited for part 2. We just recruit a bunch of rattling cannons, and that's about it for the next several turns. Next several turns is just Ikit and this guy and this priest recruiting Stormfiends and Jezzails. We also recruit a bunch of wind launchers. Don't get a chance to use them in this stream, but we do get them, and we also get some warp grinders, as I recall. Because those grinders are actually very tanky, surprisingly. Due to one of the modifications, they gain plus 15 to their melee attack and melee defense, and they already have around 50 of each. Not quite sure which Lord perks affect them, but we go in and we do a good old field test. However, that won't be for this video. That will be something that you will have to check out in the next video. So I hope that you all are prepared for that, because it is going to be spectacular in part 2 when we get to whip out those lovely Stormfiends. The rattling cannons are going to cause a lot of damage. The wind launchers are probably going to obliterate everything that's behind a settlement. And those grinders are going to be a lot of fun. They also give us the ability in a siege battle to actually use the rattling cannons rather well, because we can just punch straight through the walls and not have to care about them. We don't have to waste ammunition on the walls. We just wind launch over the walls into the enemy lines, and then use the rattling cannons after we punch holes in the walls. And then once we clear the courtyards, we can just walk in and just steamroll through the whole city. It's going to be spectacular, and I can't wait. If you can't wait to see some of these Stormfiends, feel free to swing on by for part 2. It'll be on Tuesday next week, so it'll be on June 1st. At around 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central. And yeah, if you feel like coming on by, swing on by. Definitely always willing to accept new people into there. So, have fun, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Farewell, everyone.